Hello. Welcome, gamers. It is, in fact, Friday. It's Friday, July 11th of the year 2025. Look at this. What is this background, you may ask? Good question. We already know. It is, in fact, Brazil. Ponte dos Ingleses. Brazil. So true. Welcome Stream Element, welcome A Poland, welcome JST Yi, welcome Hemp, welcome Mastabaka, welcome Nano Dan. Another one. What even is this? I don't even really know. No one really even knows, you know. Has anyone done research on these creatures? I don't think so. Anyway, it's Friday. We're gonna do some more game development. What was that? What the heck was that? Game bar? What the frick is game bar? Is that like built into Windows? Okay, we're gonna open up Godot. Excuse me, where's Godot? Where's Godot, guys? Where is Godot? My installation of Godot is no longer. Oh, there it is. Windows. What is Windows doing? They're making Windows worse every update. Before you know it, we're not even gonna have anything. World Pollution Day? Is that spoilers? We got spoilers going on? I can't believe it, man. Alright, so if you'll remember last time we did game development. What did I do last time? Good question. I don't remember. What did we do? I feel like we didn't do that much last time. Let's take a look at the logs. Okay, so last time I streamed this was on Monday. And so on Monday, welcome Deffins. On Monday, I was figuring out, okay, I was figuring out water physics. We had some water stuff. I actually got rid of all that code. The water physics is no longer existing, but I will probably add it back this stream, maybe. And then what? Me, when I work as a lumberjack, let's look at the logs. They're always doing that stuff, man. They're constantly, you can't get them to stop. So then what I did off stream was actually, I have updated the code to use actual rope physics. Okay, if you'll remember last time, we simply tracked the location of the bobber, and then we just drew a line that curved down slightly. Now we have a real rope. Check this out. We got segments. This is using the rope sim library. And part of the reason why I wanted that was because if we had like terrain, the previous code that I would have had would have just like went through the ground. It would have just like connected this to that. Welcome Denchi. But now we're using actual ropes, and now if you reel in, you'll notice it actually, okay, there's like a little bit of stuff there, but that's because of the rope segment length. But we have this now. Look at that, you can reel in. You note the tension as we're removing points on the line. We now have 4 points. We now have 3 points, and then it goes down. And then you could simply, you know, whoa, look at that. Welcome Namington. And then as you reel in, it can go against the wall. You reel in even more, and then it goes up. Wow. Look at that. It was actually kind of complicated to get this to work. There were several things I needed to adjust. You had to adjust like the tension, what's it called? The strength of the rod, or the line, I mean. You had to adjust the gravity. A lot of things. But, you know, it kind of works. It's pretty nice. You could have complex terrain. Yes, now the bobber has to swim. But yeah, but then, okay, so part of the thing that doesn't work, though, I mean, like, that works. But then if you're, like, here, it gets stuck up there. I don't know why that is. But I don't know. Maybe that's normal. Maybe that's how physics works. I mean, this kind of makes sense, right? I don't know. He's drowning. Don't worry. Okay, this is broken. I don't know why that's happening. What happened just there should not be happening. But look, isn't it cool? The prediction line even tells you that it's gonna go hit the wall. Isn't that cool? It's pretty nice. But then once you're stuck down here, you can't go back up. But that's fine. This was simply placeholder terrain. Yeah, trajectory. You can quite easily predict. There's something that's fun about this. I don't know what it is. Just seeing the physics interactions is pretty cool. Welcome Z Contacts. That's good to hear. Fishing game. Are you fishing? Bro is fishing. Yeah, it's going here. So true. Video games for VTubers. Okay, what was that? See, this is one of the things that is broken. I don't know why this happens. I'm not really sure. This is one of the issues that I do not know. But, you know, maybe it's fine. Surely no one will discover this in real gameplay. This stuff specifically. It would never happen. But anyway, if I walk through the code for how I did this, it required quite a few changes, okay? Trajectory line, shorten the rope length. You look at the code that I have. It's a lot of code. There's actually more code than I thought. Welcome, old man diabetes. Okay, so then here is the new setup, okay? We have in the player node, we're using the rope sim library, and that provides a rope. Now you gotta set the, oh, also wait, also look at something else cool though. We have it so that if you are in the idle state, note how in the idle animation, the bobber moves up and down, right? The rope moves up and down. And the position on the rope also is moving along with this thing. Isn't that cool? That physics are there. You notice it's like going up and down. That's pretty cool, right? Pretty accurate. Okay, so we have a rope. You don't see it right here because I set the rope length to 1. There's glitching at the bottom part. Don't look at that. It's fine. I set it to 1 because this is controlled via code. We have the bobber spawn point, which is where the rope comes from. And then we have the rope interaction. Now this is the thing that will connect the rope to the bobber, because you'll note they're not actually connected, but this is the thing that connects them. Welcome, I am Pandas. You enable it, and then you set the target node, and then you set the rope. So this thing is being assigned, this thing is being assigned as the target. And then there's like rope position tells you where on the rope the bobber should be. Rope position 1 means it should be at the end of the rope. Strength indicates how much control the bobber should have over the rope itself. If you set it to 1, then the rope will not apply any physics. It'll use everything from the bobber. If you set it to 0, it means the rope has entire control over the bobber's movement. And then if you look at the code that I have, I adjust this value in various ways. So when you enter the casting state, we set the rope interaction strength to be 0.9. I don't know why I chose this instead of 1. But as you were casting the thing, the bobber has full control over the rope's movement. Because you'll note if I don't do this, if I set this to 0, the trajectory will be incorrect. Because... okay, we don't even have... see, it doesn't actually go that far, because now the rope, as you're casting it, the rope... also, that looks kind of weird. Is that the rope has control over the bobber, but then since I set it to 0.9, the rope is mostly controlled by the bobber. So that's an important thing to remember. Strength. It is important. And then, as you're waiting for the bobber to land, this is after you've casted the bobber, is that we actually increase the rope length based on how far the bobber has traveled. Because if we don't do this, it's going to set the rope length to default. It's going to be constrained. It's not going to work very well. So I have it so that as the bobber is being cast, we repeatedly calculate how far away it is from the origin of the rope, and then we set the length based on that. If we set this, for example, to like distance times 2, you'll notice there's much more slack on the rope. You see that? That was kind of weird, right? I was mostly playing around with a bunch of different values. I think there's some issue with 2. 2 looks weird, but I think I was using like 1.1 before. And it was mostly, okay, like that stuff was not fine, but for the most part it was fine. But the issue with this one is that there's too much like stuff at the end. You gotta reel in a lot to get it to work. And then if you do like this, like a lot of it is like going straight down. You don't really want to see that. You want to see something like this usually. So I chose 0.6, which seemed to be a decent value. Right, like that seems alright. And then as you reel in, it gets more close. And then, okay. And then you wait until the bobber lands on a floor or a wall, and then that's when you set the length of the rope for real. Okay, then you enter for real. Get it? I've made that joke a billion times. Then you enter the fishing state, and this is where you enable gravity for the bobber. Sorry, for the rope. You disable it for the bobber. You're so funny. Thank you, thank you. And then we set the strength of the rope interaction to be 1 if the bobber is on the floor. Now, if we don't do this, if we, for example, set the interaction to be 1, you'll notice there are some strange things. Right, if the bobber is on the floor, it gets pulled toward the rope, the origin of the rope, simply because the rope is now in full control. And it is a bit strange. It doesn't look as nice. So then I just have it so that if bobber is on the floor, then the bobber has full control. So it means it doesn't really move. Once it hits the floor, it does not move. It's stuck there. You know, you could consider making it bounce or whatever, but I chose to make it stay still. Then you apply gravity, and then, okay, and then if you're not reeling, welcome Porku, if you're not reeling, you enter the, if you are reeling, you enter the reeling state. In this state, we're basically checking if you continue reeling in, we decrease the rope length. We have some hard-coded values here. I could probably put these in a constant somewhere. But as you hold down the button, the rope length moves towards 0 based on some speed. And then note that we also decrease the number of rope segments. These are here in the debug. You can see that the segments are marked off. As you reel in, there are fewer of them. Now, if we don't do this, if we simply keep the segments the same, it does work, but it's not as nice. Look at this. As we reel in, the segments continue to be there, but then it kind of just like disappears, right? What's the deal with that? I think it's because if there are so many segments, each segment has to have like a minimum length or something. And then so the actual length of the rope is actually quite small here. But then at some point it becomes 0, but that 0 point is right there, okay? So that's why we need to set the number of segments. Because as you're changing the length of the rope, you gotta have to decrease that stuff. Yeah, look at that, and that's the status currently. Why is rope math so complicated? I just don't know. There's a lot of complexities that go into systems like this. Things that we don't even consider, you know? But I got something that sort of works, and it's pretty nice. Now, I've still not really decided on what kind of game this is going to be. Maybe this is not even a game at all. Maybe this is just a tech demo that I don't actually finish. But you know what is cool though? Is that I found out that next week there was a game jam. The Kenny's Game Jam. What the heck was that? I opened a second window. For people familiar with game development, Kenny is a creator of many royalty-free assets that you can use. And that game jam is happening next Friday to Sunday afternoon. And this one is to make a game using only assets from Kenny or K-Kit. I've not looked at K-Kit, but I think it'd be kind of interesting. You know, I've never participated in a game jam. What if next week on Friday, and also Saturday, if the theme is something that I can think up an idea for, maybe I could consider making a game. And I feel like one of the things is that I spend most of my time working on assets. Like working on character art, working on other stuff. Since this one requires you to use assets that were pre-made, maybe that will cut down on some time. I will simply just be, you know, figuring out games that make sense. What if you make an RPG with unreasonably large scope and have this as a fishing minigame? That seems extremely complicated. I don't know if I want to do that. But I don't know. It could be anything. I downloaded Kenny assets years ago, told myself I would make a game with them, but then what's stopping you? You could totally be doing this right now. You could be making games while watching this stream. Even. But anyway, we have yet to see what the theme is going to be. Those things tend to be revealed at the time that the game jam goes live, so I don't know. I guess I will see on the start of the thing. But I might put it on the schedule for next week. And then I'll have like a second game. It's probably not going to be very good, but it will be something. But anyway, as for what I'm making today though, I don't know. I guess I'll try to figure out water physics. We had Classic Carabel posted some physics equations in the Discord. And I was like, that seems cool. But also it needs to know like the depth you are under the water. I was thinking maybe I could just try using that water fluid simulator that I found last time that I could not get to work. But maybe I can figure it out today. What was it? Buoyancy? It was like buoyancy. It was like floatable body 2D. Yeah, this one. I think I tried using this last time. I could not get it to work. I can't talk. Could not get it to work. But maybe today. Now that I figured out some things, maybe today it'll work. Or maybe not. Surely nothing weird will happen. Surely not. That would never be an issue. As you know, in video games, everything with physics is never janky. Everything works totally fine. So we're gonna try it. We are in fact going to try it. Alright, let's go look up, what is it called? Floatable body. What are these images? They're gone. TLS error. Failed to create SVG from buffer error code 30. What the heck? Doesn't matter. It's fine. Alright, project settings. Enable that plugin. And God, always reload the project. Because sometimes if you install a plugin and you don't restart, it simply breaks everything. Alright, so then as far as how this thing works, they have a floatable, what is it called? Floatable region or something? Fluid area. Let's change this node. This one's going to be change type fluid area 2D. And then you have to change the bobber, right? The bobber right now is a character body 2D. And I think in this one they provide some examples. Let's see, where is it? Demo add-ons. They had it as a floatable player 2D. And in here you must set a bunch of things. No, I think last time I looked at this, I was like, this makes no sense, and then I gave up. But maybe today I can figure it out. So you got to create a fluid interactor, right? And then on ready, you have to do all this stuff, I guess. You must simply copy code, copy and paste all the code. You use this thing to ensure the value is typed. And then on physics process, you gotta have all of this stuff, okay? All this stuff right here. Fluid interactor, process, mass, what the heck, man? I'm gonna have export. I guess we'll just copy all this stuff. Copy all this stuff. Rotate speed. We don't really need rotation, do we? Rotate speed. Do they even use this anywhere? Does not appear that they use this anywhere. Okay, so move speed is specifically, we don't need that. That's for player controlled stuff. Fluid damp is used here. Okay, so I guess I'll just copy this stuff. What if I simply were to copy these things? We got buoyancy, we got damping, and then what? Then we gotta have a thing for fluid area enter. Welcome, what's a butts? On water area check enter. Actually, this is already here. It's literally already here. Okay, so then we gotta set this stuff. So on area entered, set fluid area to this. This thing is not working. Area is not right because this thing must be this thing. Wouldn't it be cool if this just worked? Would be pretty nice if it simply worked. Nope, okay, it was not that easy. But what if it was though? Wouldn't that be so cool? What if we print? Print in water. And then print not in water. Okay, so it does print that it is in water. There's something about it is broken that I need to figure out. What the heck? Okay, so what is broken? We set velocity, move direction, velocity. We apply gravity. Fluid interactor process. If fluid interactor float force is 0 approx. What if we print the float force? Fluid interactor. What if we simply print this thing? Float force. Okay, so it does apply. It's just very slight. It is slightly pushing the value. But then what? Is it because fluid damping? What if this was 1? What if this was simply 1? That is the same thing. So where is fluid damp even used? Is that even, that's used in velocity? Velocity plus equals negative velocity times fluid damp times delta. Damping. What if we don't have damping? What if we simply comment this out? It does not work. Oh, why does it not work? It's being set to 0 pretty often though. Why is it doing that? Does this thing even work though? Fluid interactor. Okay, so what if we print out velocity? We check the velocity. So it's going. It is going negative. It is actually becoming larger. The absolute value is becoming larger. Welcome, Zully. But it's not by much. Now it also gets reset to 0 sometimes. I don't know why that is. What is resetting this to 0? I know we're resetting the x to 0. What about the y? Fluid interactor float force. The demo game provided with the floatable body library is good because it has crates in it. There's a game? Telling me there's a game in this thing? Minigame? Oh, do you mean in the 3D one? It has like a boat. It's got a... Did they not provide screenshots of the crate? I don't see a crate. They have a duck though. They've got a lot of stuff. Alright, so why is velocity being set? What if I simply copy their code exactly? So it's on floor. Gravity. We do apply gravity. This is here. Oh, it's because gravity is not enabled? No, that's fine, right? That's actually fine. And then they move if things are pressed. If move direction is greater than 0, that's fine. We don't need that stuff. So why is this not working? What if we actually multiply this thing by 10? Do you think maybe the default is not large enough? It's just not working. Print velocity. If we were to simply print out the velocity. So like it is negative, but it appears that it's not moving up. Why is that? Okay, what if we try casting it here? Okay, this should not print anything. Wait, what's being printed? Oh, because we're printing this, right? So if we don't print that, it should not print anything, which is expected. Go here and then, okay, here we go. Velocity is in fact should be causing it to go up, but for some reason it's not. The value is very small, despite me having added or multiplied it by 10. Fluid interactor float force. We got a fluid interactor right here. Welcome, Diego. Is up well defined? Yes, it is defined by default to be pointing in the negative y direction. As you notice, this is in fact negative. Now, why is this not going though? Despite this value increasing, it does not appear that we are going at all. So it should be moving and sliding, but it's not. What if we wait long enough? Do you think it's because of the mass? Do you think if we wait long enough, it'll start going up? Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. It is going up. It's going. I think maybe like the rope is stopping it. Is that what it is? Is that the rope is fully in control? What the heck? Okay, that doesn't work. What's up, well? Not much. What's up, well, with you? What if we have it multiplied by 100? Have you considered multiplying 100? Oh, it's going up. It is actually going up. Whoa, guys. Okay, what if it's the mass? It's the mass of the thing. What is this unit even in? Mass? Fluid interactor process mass. Is that in grams or kilograms? What if the mass was 0? What if the mass was 0.1? Oh, okay. Okay, that's not correct. But it does go up. I don't know why it's going to the... Oh, it's because... Okay, hold on. It's because I should also check whether it's in the water. See, my current code is only checking if it is on floor. Bobber is on floor. This one should also check if player bobber is in water. Is in water, yes. Okay, then we check for other places. It is on floor. The rope interaction strength. Okay, so this one should be or player.bobber is in water. And then also here. And then where? I think that should do something. I probably need to decrease the value. Okay. Okay. So we go back to the bobber. We set the mass back to 1. We can now probably remove this multiplication. And this should start doing something. It in fact did not start doing anything. What the heck? Alright, so why is that not doing anything? Is that perhaps that the mass should be smaller? What if it was 0.1? Okay, it is rising up. It should not be doing that stuff though. That thing that it's doing right now, it should not be doing that. But it is rising up. It's rising up pretty slow though. What if this mass was defined in kilograms? And this thing should actually be a much smaller value. Okay, now if you disregard this movement... Wait, no, it should land directly. It should be even like smaller, right? This feels... Wait, okay, it might be fluid dampening. I should maybe have to remove fluid damp. Is that doing anything? Oh, that's not even being used. Oh, maybe we do need that. Maybe we should have that back in. Fluid damping. Fluid damp, it sure is. Alright, so that stuff is broken though. That thing that's going on right there does not make sense. Now I think the reason why it's doing this is that once it enters, the force is causing it to go above, and then once it's above, the rope takes in. The rope is now in full effect. But then as the rope is in full effect, it falls back down, and then it keeps like going up and down. Whereas the force is being controlled by this thing. So I think instead of going directly from 1.0 to 0, we should have it move toward the value. Right? If we look at the player state, we have what is it called? Strength. So instead of just setting it to 1, we should have it move toward. We're missing the concept of limits. What does that mean? Who's out here limiting? So instead of setting it to 1, we would simply, okay, how often do we set this stuff? We set strength in a few places. Now maybe we have a function instead. We'll call that one move. What is it called? Strength. Rope interaction strength. Move move toward. I don't know. Value. Is a float. And then it does void. It returns void. And then, okay, so then this one will be, just copy this code. Actually, do I use different values in different places? Strength 1.0. I used 0.9 somewhere. I think that may have been a mistake. Where is this one? When you're fishing, it goes 1.0. Otherwise, no, we use different values. Alright, well, you know, let's just have this here. Rope interaction strength equals move toward value. It should be, you should take the current value, which is this strength, move toward the value, and then the amount should be, I don't really know. I'm just gonna make up something. We'll have delta in here as a float. And then we'll have 50 times delta. I'll put a to do here. Don't hardcode. As you know, I'll never address this to do. It's fine. Alright, rope interaction strength should move toward rope interaction strength move toward 1.0. We should just copy this stuff, right? This stuff should just be copied here. We also have to pass in delta. Alright, and then you gotta look up the other place where we're doing this. This right here. You can copy this thing. And put that in there. Delete this one. Okay. But does this help at all? Nope. Does not help. It in fact does not help at all. Now what's the deal here? Should we also, the rope should also collide with the water, I think. So if we set rope here, the issue though is that it's an area 2D. It's not like a collidable body. So if we take the rope, maybe the rope also needs collision with the water. But then, like, how does that work though? It doesn't. It simply doesn't. And I also don't understand why when you reel up, it continues to go up. Like, that stuff should not be happening. Why is that happening? Should this not have gravity applied to it? I'm asking as if anyone understands. Does anyone even understand fluid dynamics and the interaction with rope physics? I don't think so. Like, part of it kind of works though. Maybe I just need to increase the value instead of 50. What if it was simply just by delta? Oh, because 50 is a pretty large value. If we're going from 0 to 1, 50 may be too much. Okay, now this is too small though. That value right there is too small. Okay, so what if we had a multiplicative factor instead of 50? What if it was like 2? What if it was like 2.0? What if it was like 5? What if it was like 10? It's 10 times delta. No, that's too much. What if it was 5? Has anyone tried 5? Any fans of 5? Man. Big fan. What's the best 5? If you can name every 5, what is the best 5? What the Windows update? Are you seeing this? Need to restart to install updates. 4 times when making me fingies? What does that mean? What does that mean? Drakengard 3.5. Is that the 5th Drakengard 3? Did they release Drakengard 3 5 times? What's wrong with this? Welcome, delicious smile. No. Oh, there's a character named 5. I see. I did not know that. Of all the things that I knew, that is not one of them. I actually just did not know. This doesn't work. Oh, is it because I have disabled gravity? Hold on. If Bobber is in the water, I should have gravity turned on. Is that what it is? If player not Bobber, hold on, hold the frick on. If you go here, or no, maybe when you leave the water. Actually, I don't know. Gravity enabled. What if we never set this to false? When I was making my fingers, my genetic code used the number 5 to determine the amount of fingers they would grow on my hands and feet. True. So true though. So this has broken many things, and maybe it's broken because the value that we chose should not actually have been such a value. Maybe actually, because gravity is being applied, is that we should set the 2.0 times delta. Where did I set this? I don't even know. I just don't even know. Move toward. Instead of 3, what if this one was now 50? It's floating. Doesn't work. What the heck was that? You see that? It simply is broken. What the heck? What is bro doing? It refuses to leave the ground. Let's see. We disable gravity when fishing. So then this one should be gravity enabled. Should be if player Bobber is on, if it is in the water, then maybe then you enable gravity. No, that doesn't work. But this should be the same as usual. But now when it's in the water, It's broken. It's literally washed. Now what if we go to the bobber and we simply it doesn't make sense. It simply doesn't make sense. I don't understand. So they do apply gravity to it. In their example code, gravity does get applied. Gravity. Gravity. Does anyone even know? Does anyone remember physics? Taking a physics class in school? Remember the formulas? Remember potential energy? Remember spring damping equations? Any fans of spring? What about summer? Summer dampening equations? It's all about springs. It doesn't make sense. Alright, so this doesn't work. Something is very clearly broken here. It is in fact extremely broken. Mass string system. It's too much. Spring system. Alright, let's see. How would I have this work? Just don't know. So we apply buoyancy. But I think that buoyancy... Wait, did we? Okay, so no, mass is here. Velocity is there. Go back to player state. So we have move toward 3 times delta. Gravity enabled is set as expected. Gravity enabled. So this is what we had. We maybe don't want this. And then if you do this, it goes up. That's the issue though. That is the issue right there. Is that 3.0. If we had a 1.0, it doesn't make sense. Welcome Slime Molder. I think, how would that work? If it should not be gravity enabled is in water. It should be gravity enabled should be when you're not in the water. It should be when if you're not in the water and or this is De Morgan's theorem. If you're not on the floor or not in water, that's when gravity should be disabled, perhaps. Wait, oh shoot. It's okay, it's bouncing a bit too much. However, that is way better than, okay, but then when you pull it down, it gets kind of messed up. But this though, that looks all right. This actually seems pretty good. I think the rope does need to stay above the water though. Sometimes it's good. Like, okay, but what happens there, whatever that was, that's not good. Okay, that seems alright. And then it goes there, and then it continues to go. it should not be going like that. That's the thing though, it should not be doing this. Also, it keeps going back toward us when it should not be. Maybe the rate that we had is too high. If we could also set this in the rope interaction move toward, we put this down here. Love when it keeps going back toward us, but why though? It doesn't do that in real life. This should also be applied when you're reeling, I believe. So if we put this one down here as well, and then we go back to where we did the rope interaction strength move toward. We set this to not be 3. What if it was like 1? 1 times delta. Oh, it's a bit too much. What if it was like 0.5 times delta? Welcome, Classic Carabel. What if it was 0.5 times delta? Wait, oh shoot. No. Oh. Hey, wait, that looks alright. That actually seems pretty decent. And the question is, when we start reeling it toward us, does it continue to be... Oh, it does continue to be quite okay. But then afterwards, everything gets messed up for some reason. Why is that? Okay, but now we should have it so that the rope also floats. The rope must also float on the water. It seems alright. Okay, but then that, whatever happened there, that doesn't seem right. That seems, this seems incorrect to me. As someone who is familiar with some aspects of physics, that seems incorrect to me. This thing though, that should not be there. So this is there. And that's there. But then like this should not be there. I should maybe set like a minimum. I should check the distance between the rope and the player. The place where I'm changing the length of the rope, I should also check the position, I think. Is that true? I don't know if that's true. Music just stops. I hate that. Really makes me think. Really causes me to consider. Okay, so we should minimize some values here. Is that true though? Number of segments, that's what I should minimize. The number of segments, rope length. No, because then we should be decreasing rope length. It does make sense. I think something about it though is wrong. It's got an evil energy. There's something about it. Like this seems fine, but then like this is too much. This thing now only has 1 segment. It has 2 segments. But it shouldn't be. Doesn't make sense that it has 2 segments. And why does that happen? Why does that even happen, huh? Gotta know. Maybe this will get fixed once I add the thing that keeps the rope above the water. Have we considered this? Do fishing rods, do the ropes do this in real life? Fishing lines? I would assume that they would stay above the water, right? Fishing. Just search for fishing. I should also drink water. That is in fact the thing that I should do. I'm gonna drink water right now. Alright, I've done it. So, they are usually above, but what about when we need like an image of someone, the line is like really, really long, when it's like resting on the water? How did they do it? There's none of this. There's literally none of this, man. Just doesn't exist. It's not even real. Does anyone know? Me when I make a fishing game despite not really knowing anything about real fishing. Whatever. I'm going to assume that the rope floats, because that would make sense. Or like this. This would make sense. Perhaps. The line is floating. Yes, that would make sense. That's what I would expect. It would be reasonable to assume. Oops. But we could commit this, right? We at the moment we have something that sort of works. Let's format the code. GD format scenes. Alright, so we have plugins enabled, fluid interactor, collision mask, player bobber is in water. The line is floating and not an int. You mean inting? It doesn't really make sense. So it should be inting. How can you say floating and not inting? Rope interaction move towards 0.5 times delta. What if instead of 0.5, what if it was actually 0.3? We considered 0.3. Oh shoot. Don't know if that's better. Is that even better? Is this even better? Seems a bit too smooth. Okay, what about 0.5? If it was 0.5... See, I don't like how it is doing this stuff. This part doesn't make sense. Why is it doing that? It's like gravity is being applied because it's above the water. Like, that makes sense. That stuff makes sense. But then the rest of it does not really make sense. This stuff is logical. Oh, you know what? Maybe instead of... Hold on. Welcome, ChocoJax. I think it's because we check for a collision with ground. We should be also checking for... Oh wait, no, this does work. Never mind. I thought I didn't check it. Okay. I did in fact check it. Set the length to this thing. The bobber is in water. That's also when the size of the rope cuts off. So that's broken. Every other cast is broken for some reason. But this stuff though, okay, so what if in this one if the bobber is in water, we could also decrease the rope length. So what if we did this? Player.bobber is in water. Player.rope length times equals 0.5. It should be even shorter. Oh, that seems, I don't know, maybe that's alright. Is that better? It seems better. Is that better? I don't know. It definitely looks better. If I don't have this here, the rope is too long. Right, then I have to do this. If it was like 0.5, then as soon as it hits the water, it is shortened slightly. But then what if we were really far away? What if we were like over here? It actually still works. Why does it still work? And why is the position incorrect? Why is that? Is it because I'm not setting the position? Also, I said I would commit this, but I didn't. Hold on, let's remove this for now. Let's commit what we have. Alright, so what do we have? We have fluid interactor, we have damping, collision mask, we have this thing. Okay, so let's see. Git status, git add-ons. What the heck is this? Rope sim bin, rope sim windows template debug. What is that? Do I need that? Get that out of there. Building ropes and do I add that to my git ignore? Is that being built on demand? What is this? What is that thing? Template debug? Is it okay for me to remove this? Oh. I didn't mean to do that. What if this breaks everything? Cannot remove input output error? I don't even know what that is. Alright, what if we don't commit this? Git add-ons floatable body. And then git commit -am add floatable body library for water physics. Okay. And then we add this thing back. Okay. And then this thing. Seems good. Seems acceptable. That thing though, that thing's wrong. I don't know why that thing is wrong, but it should not be like that. And also this thing is broken. It seems like every other cast though fixes it. But let me commit this as well. Shorten rope length if bobber land in water. Water? Okay, so now we gotta figure out why the trajectory thing is breaking. So in the trajectory line, what are we doing here? Update trajectory. Do we not? Is it because we're not resetting the position of the collision test? This thing should actually be a bobber. We should have a reset function. should set the position, right? It should be did I welcome him? Did I welcome you? I don't think I did. No, you were here in the beginning. Welcome it. I welcome you, even though I already welcomed you. Even though I went through that whole thing asking if I welcomed you. I don't know what this is. Some kind of creature. So we should reset the position. Would be we should have original position. Var. He said the word wrong. Can't believe this. Initial position. So vector 2. And then this thing should have initial position equals collision test dot position. And then we should have a reset. And then we set the collision test dot what do I have set in the bobber? Do I have set something? Apply impulse. Don't I have like a teleport? Oh, I guess I don't. Okay, so we're gonna go to here. Collision test dot position equals initial position. Right, and then you go back to player state. So this is when you're casting. As you are finishing this animation, we apply gravity bobber position. Oh wait, I have this set here. What the heck? Bobber update position. Oh, because I'm updating the position of the bobber, but not the position of the other guy. So okay, so player dot trajectory line dot reset. This thing should be set in the script here. So rather than using initial position, we should be parent collision test dot position, because the parent position has been set at that point. This thing no longer needed. All right, so this thing should now have the correct no, that is actually not true. We thought it would have fixed it. In fact, it did not fix it. Now, why is that? Why is that not fixed? I think it's because when it gets stuck on something, like here, as we pull the rope back, it goes to length 0, but then it means that the position of the bobber is actually like here when it resets. Or it's actually, okay, so it's actually over there. But I thought that I thought I had reset it though. Go to the player state, bobber.update position. Bobber is here. Update position. It sets position to new position. And then it waits. And then it returns. But why does this not get set though? Why does that not even get set? Trajectory line. Collision test should also be a bobber. So maybe this one should actually be collision test dot update position parent collision test position. Right, so now this thing is here. For some reason is down there. It does not make sense to me. simply is illogical. What does this mean? Collision test position. Global position equals to parent collision test global position. When do I call this every frame? This is being called every frame. So we don't even need this though. This thing is not even needed. So reset is not needed. You would think that by the time this is called, that this would exist. But it doesn't. Trajectory line. So we set the position to bobber spawn point position. This is on start. The bobber spawn point position. See, like at the very beginning, it does not work. On the first cast, it does not work. This one is also broken. Really makes you think. Really causes you to ponder. Really makes you think. Welcome, Dice Queen Die. Hello, hello. What are you up to? Welcome, Stencil. Welcome, A Sentient Satchel. Welcome, Meow Statue. In Quebec. Horse to raid you. Welcome, One Blue Sheep as well. You were doing software and game development. Horse Beyblade? That's crazy. I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. Is it like horse race tests where you have like chat members participate and then like they randomly move around and find one that wins? Uma Musume but violent. Uma Musume if they were to spin a lot. The horses have swords? That sounds cool. Maybe I will take a look at the VOD, if I remember, because I often forget. After I end my stream, I'm just like, I'm done, and then I just forget to check anything. But if I do remember, I will check it out. A long way until chat participates. Is that the end goal, though? To eventually have chat submit their horses? Anyway, yes, thanks for the raid. Yes, I'm figuring out fishing. I've added rope physics. I'm trying to figure out why the trajectory position is incorrect. It should show up from the spawn point, but it seems like every cast it shows up at the last place that the bobber ended up, and also every other cast is messed up. Something about it is wrong. Like this should not be there. It should be here. Also, this thing should not be happening. I just don't know. I thought I also fixed this. This one was supposed to have it so that the rope length decreased when it landed. Like it looks fine when we cast from here, but if we cast from here, it goes underneath. Like this is reasonable. Whatever that is, that's wrong. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So why is it doing that? Trajectory line. What if I just remove this? Is that a thing? If I just remove this? No, that is also not correct. It also doesn't work. Alright, so let's see. Trajectory line. We show the trajectory line. As we update trajectory, we reset the collision test global position to this thing. Oh, we should also be resetting the velocity? Is that it? Velocity should be set to 0. vector 2.0. And then we apply impulse of velocity. Welcome Professor Sapling as well. And then we start adding points to it. Collision test is on floor, return. Right, so we do this. Oh, is that the reason why it's not casting? It's not showing it on the original cast. Possibly because the position starts off being on the floor. If I remove this thing, I think it'll show up from here. Yep, that is correct. Okay. I have figured it out, everyone. So let's see. I think because I'm not setting values correctly. Let's go back to player state. So this one, where do we do this? When you start casting, I see. This thing should actually be, wait a second. I don't actually set the position of the bobber until you have started casting. So this thing should actually be, this should be set earlier. This should be like up here. So it would be when you enter the casting state. This is where you set this thing. Right, and then it should work. Oh no, but then it's applying velocity. Okay, so let's see. Gravity enabled should be false. Or true, I mean, sorry, what am I saying? You should not apply gravity until here. Right? Then you'll note that the other, okay, so why is it doing that? Why is that happening? So we update the position. We wait until bobber position has been updated. Okay. But why is it falling down though? That's the thing. Do I even need this thing? Is that even a thing that exists? It appears that it's going down. When does the bobber actually go? It's there, fluid processor, process, gravity enabled, apply gravity. I think I need to like unset the physics. Welcome, Sir Ryu. I think I need to disable the physics interaction when it's not existing. So let's see, we should go back to where? Where am I going? Bobber. Okay, we go to bobber, and then we set the physics interaction, physics process to be physics interpolation. Where do I set this? Physics process, physics interpolation. The collision. No, I'll just set it in code. Not the physics. I need those. Do you though? Do you really need these? All right, so when you enter this thing, you should set player.bobber.physics. What's it called? What's the word? Process physics? Physics process. Set physics process false. And then you set the position, right? And then once you actually cast the thing, this is where you actually set it to true. Right, so now why is it doing that? What's the deal? It appears that it gets cast from this position. It starts off up here and then it goes down. But I thought I disabled that. Gravity enabled should be false. Did I not set that? Gravity enabled false. Oh no, it's actually okay. The bobber position is fine. It's because the bobber itself, it is being set. Wait, is that true? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of saying things at this point. Gravity. Okay, what if we set gravity enabled to false? Okay, that's what it was. Wait, I thought it should not have been processing that stuff. Gravity enabled was set to true. Physics process was set to false. So maybe when you're done with this one, in the fishing state, if you reel in... Oh no, I already set this to false. Okay, so that thing was not needed. I think this thing should now fix the thing being cast from the wrong place. Okay, I have in fact fixed it. Good job to me. I've done it. All right, let's apply the formatting. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I could also comment out or remove the commented out thing. Alright, this thing I don't think is needed. I can't type. I can't even type words. Okay, so this one is going to be fix issue with trajectory line not showing up. Trajectory line having incorrect position. Fix, we don't even, issue is implied. Just fix trajectory line having incorrect position. Okay. So that works. That seems quite good to me. And now maybe we figure out having the rope float on water as well. How do I do that though? That's the question. How do I do that? Good question. Welcome Eidolon Endymion. So this thing has a collision mass with water. I think it does have report contact point. Welcome Hamflow. Is there like a signal? On point registered. On point count changed. It's not there. Collision. Report contact points. Okay, so let's check the documentation. Godot rope sim. And then we gotta check collision. Can you add forces to the rope nodes? Yeah, there is a way to iterate through the collision points themselves. I think. Collision. How to make ropes collide and deform with the terrain. It didn't exist until May. But now there is an example. Collision.tscn. Demo. Rope examples. Collisions. Well, it's not necessarily collisions, is it? Collision detection. What is this one? We got an animation. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I see demonstrates rope collisions with physics bodies. No, I want them to collide. Okay, there's also a typo. I need to fix this. Does someone want to open a pull request to fix this typo? If not, I'm going to do it. I'm going to copy this. I'll put this in my to-do. Miscellaneous. Fix typo. What does this say? This says, where did I find the typo? Collisions. But no, I'm gonna do it. Okay. You can probably get to it before I can. Collisions in. I can't type. I cannot type today. Collisions in GD native rope sim. Okay. Welcome, Metal Deer. You're gonna get credit, even though I found it. Can't believe this. Can't even believe this, man. Demonstrates rope collisions with physics bodies. Enable the render debug to see the colliders. Higher segment counts and larger collision radius leads to smoother collisions. No, there's gotta be like a way to check area collisions. Is there a thing for that? Oh wait, maybe... No, this is a collision mask. That's different from physics material, right? So bobber collision, it has a... where do I check this stuff? Bobber collision. Collision. Okay, so it has a mask, not a layer. So I guess the rope itself does not have a thing. Is it possible to report the collisions? Let's see. Oh, actually, we could make it so that the no, because then it wouldn't fly. I can't even finish my thoughts. We could make it so that the this thing is also a collision area. What is it called? A static body. But then have that thing only apply to rope. Rope could have its own collision. Like, oh no, but it doesn't work because it doesn't have. It doesn't have a thing. It doesn't even exist, guys. I don't even know what I'm saying. Just saying things. But there is a way to iterate through every point on the rope. I saw it in the documentation. Or like in the code itself. In the rope itself, we have points. You can get each point. Get is like get point or something. Get point. Get point from index. No, this is get the index. Get points. Interpolate. Get point from index. Okay, and then this returns the point at the index. Right. Now, what is points specifically? It is. Wait, get contact points. What is it? Oh, this is for when you're colliding with the physics body, not an area. The water is an area, not specifically a physics body. So we can check where points is defined. Var points. Is there no var underscore points? Where does points get set? Underscore points equals points. Where is this? Underscore points. Where is this defined? Var point. Oh, it's a packed vector to array. How would I do that though? So we could manually adjust the points, but I was kind of hoping that they would be... Wait, is maybe contact points? Simulation weight points, old points. I know there's an example here where they set it like on a tightrope or something. I looked at one of the issues. Someone wanted a thing where like the player could jump on the rope and then could bounce. I think they did adjust the position of the rope specifically. Rope renderer 2D, native rope server not declared. Move anchor from rope. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one they have a rope, and then they want to adjust the position of the rope as the player walks on it. It shouldn't go down. And then the developer did say that you could get the points. Oh, there's a move point function. Move point function. Okay, so then you change the velocity, the position of the point manually. I guess you gotta iterate through every point, find out whether it is contained in the water area, and then if it is, you would have to apply your own physics. There's gotta be some way around this without me having to code it manually. There's gotta be. There has to be, man. No. Okay, what if we maintain a cache of positions, and then on every frame adjust the position of that thing to be equal to the position of the node on the rope. So like we have one thing for every one of these points. The issue is then like sometimes the points get deleted. Right, but then okay, so we should have. Do we really want a physics body for every one of these points though? You would have a floatable body for every one of these, and then on every frame we set them to the position on the rope, and then we apply physics, and then based on the position we should adjust it relative to where it was. It's gonna be kind of complicated. Also, this song just ends. I hate this song. They have literally 30 seconds of silence at the end. Alright, so how... It seems kind of complicated though. There's gotta be a better way. Maybe there is no better way. Maybe this is the only way. Have you considered that this is the only way? Welcome, props.jack. I'm dying. Hi, dying. I'm streamer. Is this true? Is this even real? Alright, so... What do I want to do here? I want to add a new script. This is going to be kind of annoying. Rope. What if we extend rope? Instead of this being a rope specifically, we have a rope, a water-aware rope. A buoyant rope, perhaps. Maybe. Yes. Maybe I do have that. Buoyant rope. Is there really no way? I guess it wouldn't make sense for them to track every one of these. Do they really not track every one of these though? You set the points. They're out here setting the points though. Wait, you can change the weight of a specific point? Set point simulation weight. You could make it so that the second point does not move that much. Full movement. Wait a sec. Is that what I want? Did I need that? No, probably not. So you could theoretically fix the endpoint by setting the weight to 0. Would that help me? Chungus? What? What is he talking about? What is bro even saying? Bro. Reset. Get old points. There's no documentation. I don't know what old points is. Is old points the previous points that existed? Get nearest point index. Get points interpolate. Get point perk. Oh, percent. I've never seen percent abbreviated like this. Get point index. Turn the point index at the given percentage. Alright, well, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to extend rope. We are going to have a extend script. And this is going to be a floatable rope. Create a floatable rope. Right, just make sure that it still works. It does still work, okay. So then in the floatable rope, we are going to have a list of floatable body 2D. Let's see, floatable points. Call that floatable points. It's going to be an array of floatable body 2D. And then on floatable rope, hold on, where does this get set? Do we have any? Does this extend node? Is this a node? It is a node, so it should have physics process. Okay, and then in physics process, we're gonna do points. Right, get points. Get points. For point in get points. Okay, so now we have what is the value of get points? Is a packed vector 2 array. So this should be a vector 2. Right. Is there a way to like get the index? Godot get index in for loop. Is that a thing that exists? Enumerate range. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to get points. Simply I'm going to go through every point. Okay, specifically, what does that mean? That means get num points for. It's going to be get num points, and then for I in endpoint. Wait, I don't even need to assign this to a variable. Imagine assigning things I would simply not. Alright, so then for I in this thing, we're gonna do get point I. So then this is the position of the point. We also need the index though. What am I doing? Oh no, because now, okay, so now the index is I. Right, that makes sense. You get the point at I. This is going to be point position. I'm going to be get points of I. Imagine not using the sometimes. What? Okay, now we have the point, and then we should check if there is a floatable point, right? Floatable points dot, is there a get or init? Godot array gets or init array. Append set get or default. Is there a get or default? Bro can't see the underscore. Oh, the underscore. I didn't even see the underscore. So what do you mean imagine not using sometimes? There's no, is there no get or else? Get index. Get. It's the same as using this thing, but then what if there's nothing there? What does that do? Does that return nothing? Is that not anything? Find custom filter, fill, erase, duplicate, count. Can I simply set a value? Set. I know Python's get has a default. This one does not appear to. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is going to be null. Floatable points I of our existing point is this thing. If not existing point, then floatable points of I is going to be, we're going to have new point is going to be a floatable body 2D dot new, and then we're going to have this is going to be equal to new point, and then we're also going to append, right? Append child, oops, add child, new point. Okay, and then floatable points of I is going to be set to new point. And then new point. No, and then also going to have, okay, this one, then you set existing point. Oh wait, no, oh I see, you set this one here, existing point. Set that equal to the new floatable body. I copied this script already. Show me the player. Welcome to Busy Mur. I copied this script. The floatable rope. Copy the floatable rope. I guess it should not be existing point. Floatable point. So if not floatable point, then you set the new floatable point. Right, but then after this, floatable point dot global position dot whatever. This thing should be equal to, wait, is this a relative position? Floatable point dot position equals point position. Okay, but then we also need to set the collision layer, right? The collision mask. We're going to have how do they set this on the rope? Let's check the thing. Mask, right? Collision mask. Physics layers to collide with. So this one, we're going to have an export flag 2D physics. It's going to be water mask. So then this one, we need to set the mask, right? Floatable point dot, what is it called? Mask. Where do we set? Okay, in the bobber, we have collision mask. This one is set to collision mask. Okay, floatable point dot collision mask is equal to water mask. All right. And then what? It's going to be a floatable body 2D. Wait, but doesn't this one would also need a collision, like, collision shape? Oh, this is going to be kind of complicated. This kind of sucks, actually. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Floatable body 2D. Wait, don't they have collision points, though? Don't they set this stuff up? Because they have to show it somehow, right? Up. Does not work. Out of bounds. Okay, so out of bounds does not work. I guess you have to check beforehand if it exists. So then, okay, so instead of checking for a floatable point, you have to check floatable points dot length, size. If it is greater than I. No, if it's less than or equal to I. It doesn't make sense. No, if it's greater than, then you set it. Otherwise, floatable points should be set to, what am I doing? What are we doing here, guys? We should set this there, else we get the point. I think that guy got the point. Now, why is this thing floatable point not declared? But it should be declared, though. It's literally right here. No, he's pointing, though. He's literally pointing. We set this here. All right, so a floatable point now exists. I mean, we haven't attached this to anything. Get index 0. If size is greater than I, out of bounds index 0 here. What is wrong with this logic here? If the size, oh, this should be the other way around. Should be if it's less than or equal to? Should it be or equal to? Yes, it should be or equal to. I think. Is that true? No. It should be less than. No. It should be, wait, what? If the size is less than the current index. The size, none of these work. Is it size? So size is, we don't want this to be out of bounds. Float, oh, it's because we're calling this thing. We should be calling dot append, right? No. Wait. Okay, so when we start this off, I is 0. So this should be or equal to, because size is also 0. So in the first call, we have no floatable points. It's going to be array size 0. And then you should then enter this thing. You should then add a new floatable point to the 0 index. But then afterward, though, why does this not go there? Why does this crash? On base of type rigid body 2D, floatable body 2D. Invalid assignment of index 0. It should be dot append, right? I think maybe this should be dot append. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, well that does nothing, because we haven't actually done anything with these points. But what I wanted to show was that shouldn't these all have values? If we go here, we look at debug. Welcome, Stanley. Render debug, right? Render debug. For point, oh, they don't actually have physics bodies. They're simply just drawing the circles. If enable collisions, draw a circle around the point. So we need to have... Wait, but also we don't know the velocity of the point, though. The thing, when it's floating up, it needs to know the velocity of the points. Do we get like the velocity of every point? Is there a way to get the velocity of a specific point? We would need to track the position every frame to manually calculate the velocity ourselves. It's actually kind of messed up though. What am I doing? Is this even worth it? You think people are going to play this and they're going to be like, oh, I can't believe that the rope goes underneath the water sometimes. Oh, this is unacceptable. It would never do that in real life. Yes, they would though. And it would be justified because I think it doesn't make sense. You should not be doing that. Alright, I guess I'm coding, I guess I'm programming this in here. Alright, we got segment length, we got gravity, we got... Okay, so we're gonna keep track of the position. It is kind of like annoying though, because this thing is going to be changing size. It is simply going to be updating every frame. I feel like it might be kind of expensive. Okay, but we set the point position to be this point. The floatable body. Oh, we don't really need a collision shape though. What does floatable body extend? It extends a rigid body 2D. Do we want it to be a floatable, a rigid body though? I don't think so. I think we need to make a new scene that has a floatable rope point. And then we need to instantiate that in this scene. Floatable rope. Okay, so then we're gonna add this kind of sucks. Okay, let's make a new thing. A new scene. This is going to be floatable rope point dot scene. Invalid call, get num points to floatable rope. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, then you add, do I want to add a script to this? Floatable rope point is going to extend a floatable body. Right, we're going to change the type. Floatable body. Or we could set this to a character body. Let's set this to character body 2D. And then attach a script to it. And then in floatable rope point, I don't think we need a collision shape, do we? Let's go to player. Sorry, player script. Sorry, bobber script. Oh, but then it has mass. What the frick? Alright, so this thing also needs mass and fluid damp. That's great. Floatable rope point extends character body 2D. So it has mass, it has fluid damp. And then in the physics process, we also need this stuff. Wait, collision shape though? Oh, because it needs to collide with the water. That is what we need to test collision. So then on ready, we go to the floatable rope point. Bouncing on it, Dio, so true. Fluid, okay, so we need to add the fluid interactor. Let's go to bobber script. Let's get the fluid interactor. Let's put that in here. Okay, then simply you just gotta add a collision shape 2D. It's going to be a circle shape. It's going to have a radius of 0.5. How do I set that? Radius 0.5. All right. So then this adds the shapes. Okay, and then if you go to the bobber script, in physics process, we gotta be applying this stuff. Okay, so then we got this stuff here. Damping. What did they call this one? This one is buoyancy. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, we do this. We have move and slide. If is on, we don't need this stuff. This stuff not even needed. All right. And then we also need what do we need here? Oh yes, we need the thing to check whether it is in the water. So we also need this stuff. Go here, you paste it. On water check area entered, we don't need this check. And then we gotta go here, we gotta go to the node. And then we gotta connect various things. So we're gonna add a check for water check area enter. It's going to be under, wait, where is that set up? Oh, this is actually set up on an area 2D. I'm just gonna copy this. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna go to floatable rope. I guess this thing doesn't need a collision shape, right? Because we only care about the area 2D. Is that true? Is that true? Is that even true? I guess we could delete it. And then we paste this one. Okay, so now we have water check. Okay, water check. Oh, it also copied the signals. That's useful. Alright, so then this stuff is here. Floatable rope point should now be able to change velocity and all that. But then we need to keep track of oh no, we need to keep track of the actual previous position that it used to be in. And then in physics process, we have to like reset the position. What am I doing? Also, I should drink water. It is in fact 7:05 p.m. Alright, I have successfully hydrated. Okay, let's see, what was I doing? I was setting some values somewhere. We got the mass of the floatable rope point. We got the fluid dampening. Okay, so we got to keep track of previous position. We're going to have update position. Should this thing... Okay, wait, I could invert it. I could have it so that this thing keeps track of which index it is, and then we have a parent, which is the rope itself. And then rather than setting this in the rope, we have this calculated here. Okay, so what am I gonna do? What, I can't even tell. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to have export var rope. It's going to be a floatable rope. Right, this thing is here. And then what? And then an index on the rope. So this thing should get set var point index 0 initially, right? On ready. Okay, so then on every physics process, we need to set our position, previous position. We're gonna have a var previous position. It's going to be, wait, isn't that set up in the thing? Previous point. Old point, right? Is that old point? Is that what old point is? Old points? Is this like the previous position? Old points. Yes, old points get set to points. Set old points. Okay, so maybe we don't need the previous position. We simply get old points. Alright, so what do we do here? The point might not exist. That's fine. So as we enter every frame, you want to get rope.get points. Get points. Get point. Point index. But first we gotta check rope.get num points. If rope.get num points is less than or equal to point index, then you simply have nothing to do. Simply just return. Is that correct? If it's equal to, then that would fail, right? So then this is a var current position is this thing. And then you also need get old points, right? Get point. Get, is there a get old point? No. Okay, so in previous position, var previous position is rope.get old points point index. Now this might also not exist. If this thing also doesn't exist, let's see. We can do on ready. On ready bar rope old points. Welcome nutritious. Wait, but we need to get it every frame. What am I doing? Is this even, does this even make sense to anyone? Okay, so we have old points. Is this. Okay, we have this old points. And then too many arguments. Okay, we don't need that. If old points dot size is less than or equal to point index, that means this point did not exist previously and it was just added, right? So then that means velocity should be equal to 0. I think. And then we get the current position. And then velocity equals old points, point index. So it should be, velocity should be equal to the previous position. Is that what it is? You want to take your current position minus previous. Wait, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Yes, okay, yes. Your position should be previous position and previous. What am I doing? Old points, point index, minus current position. Yes. But then it's also got to be delta, right? Because where does delta come in? Velocity is, you apply velocity times delta. So this should be divided by delta. The whole thing divided by delta. Okay, and then you have this calculation. But then once this is done, okay, you should also set the current position to be equal to the other one. Welcome, Freshwater Fern. What were you up to? Were you also doing software and game development? Yes. Professional yapper. What, we got a professional yapper? Any advice on professionally yapping? Welcome, Max Wattage. Welcome, Freshwater Fern. What are you working on? Yeah, no worries, no worries. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, raiders. I am trying to figure out fishing. This is probably going to crash. But I have a system here where you can walk around. You can cast a rope. The rope has physics. Rope physics. Welcome, Dan Competes. It has a prediction where it's going to land. You can cast it on the ground as well. And the issue that I'm trying to solve is that I want the rope to also float on the water. But then the rope simulation that I have does not actually treat these things as individual physics bodies, which is going to be kind of annoying. Also, welcome, Melaneth. A rope cast? I don't even know. Is it a 2D, 3D game? It's 2D. These are, I don't actually have graphics yet besides the character and the rope. For the terrain, at least. It kind of looks 3D, right? It looks like this is like a room. This is like a thing in the background. No, it's actually just collision shapes that I have not actually drawn graphics for. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing to float. Welcome, Frankie TH. Floating around, nice to be here. Glad you are here. So anyway, what I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to go through every one of these points on the rope, assigning a physics body to it, and then like adjusting it so that we calculate how far to move the point every frame. I don't know if it's going to work. I've kind of just been talking to myself. I'm pretty sure no one understands what's happening, but that's fine. Okay, so this is the floatable rope point. I've created a scene that has a water check. The water check, we gotta assign some collision to it. Okay, so we have floating. Okay, so it's gonna interact with the water collision layer. That's correct. I don't know why this is failing. I'm sure I probably did something wrong. But that's fine. I'm sure it's not really an issue. We all float down. Everyone's always floating. Just like the classic song. Floating. I don't actually know the song. But I know maybe what you're referencing. Alright, so let's see. What are we doing here in the floatable rope point? We're getting the old points. We set the velocity based on the position of the previous... Oh yeah, that one. That's the song. As you all know, I don't actually really know songs. I'm not familiar with pop culture, really. That's fine. That's why we have chat to explain things to me. Alright, so let's see. We should also set our position, right? It should not just be current position. It should actually just be position. We all float here is from Stephen King's It. Okay, well, I thought it was a song reference. Me when I'm mixing up my references. Rope.get point. So position should always be set. Right, because this is set here. If it's not set there, it doesn't make sense. And then you move and slide, and then you gotta set the, Oh, maybe we don't need move and slide. Maybe we actually just set velocity. Hey, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Okay, so we get rope dot... Let's look at the documentation. And by documentation, I just mean the code. Move point. Okay, we gotta have move point, rope.move point, point index. Don't mix up your references. Yeah, you gotta, you know, you might end up writing to like an invalid pointer or something. Velocity. We just set the velocity here. This guy never actually moves nor slides. We're just using it to calculate velocity. Okay, but that's good though. So we get the current position. We move the point. And then what? Is that it? Is that good? Okay, then we go back to the floatable rope script somewhere here. All right, then we gotta like auto load something, right? What's it called? A constant floatable rope point scene equals preload. And then you find the file. Where is it? It's called floatable rope point. Dot scene. Okay. So we preload this thing. We have to initialize it, right? So this thing will be set here. If the floatable point does not exist, we have to go floatable rope point scene dot initialize. Okay, how do you initialize a scene? Instantiate. Oh, that's what it was. Instantiate. So it's going to be a floatable point. And the type is going to be a floatable rope point. Okay, and then, what's wrong with this thing? It's not compiling? There is already a variable named floatable point. True. That's actually so true, though. They were so right for this. Alright, so floatable point dot rope equals self. And then is there anything else we needed? Floatable rope point. Oh, we need the index. Point index. Point index should be equal to I. And then you add child. And then you also add it to this thing. And then I guess you don't really need any of this stuff, right? Wouldn't it be so cool if this just worked? This never happens, it's not gonna work. Yep, it has in fact crashed the game. What do we got going on here? Attempted to push back an object of character body 2D to a typed array which does not... Okay, what if we don't need this? We're not really doing anything with these floatable points. Let's just delete that. No, we do need that. Hold on. Num instantiated points. Should be 0. And then get num points, point position, get point of I. So then this thing should be if num instantiated points is less than or equal to I, then num instantiated points should plus equals 1. I think this is also wrong. If I is this. Oh, no, that's fine, right? I think that's fine. Oh, look, something broke. It is, in fact, not correct. That's great. But what if we did this? Nope. Oh, this thing should only be applied if it is in the water. So we should keep track of is in water. Is false. So then if we are not in water, then we should not apply this. Is wet was right there. No, because just because you're in water does not imply wet. You could have like some anti-water coating or whatever. What's it called? Hydrophobic coating. Okay, so we have is in water is false. No, this should be true. And then this one should be false. Who's wet? No one really even knows though. Water's not wet. Water causes things to be wet, but water itself, I believe, is not wet. There's something about that, right? Alright, so then we should only move points if in water. I disagree. Welcome Infinite Zero. Water is moist. It's moist but not wet, right? Is that the thing? Oh, what the frick was that? You see that? What is that down there? Is that my collision shapes? What the heck? What is that? What is that thing? What the heck? Do these correspond to my points? What is what is that thing? It does appear that I have created the collision shapes correctly. It's just that they're not in the right place. Why is that? Is it using global position? Probably. Okay, so we go to floatable rope point. Instead of setting position, we should be setting global position. I think. Water is covered in water, so it's wet. I don't know if that's true. Oh, I think this is correct. I think these are now in the correct position. Okay, they have appeared to have... Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine because I'm removing points. So these points being here does not really matter. It's simply the residual effect being applied. Interesting. But what if it's in the water? Oh, shoot. Did that actually work? Wait a second. Wait a second. No, never mind. It didn't work. So why is the rope not going up, though? That's the thing. Should this thing not be going up? What if I maintain the velocity? If I don't actually remove this thing, and I set this thing. Now we gotta test it from farther away. Okay, so that doesn't work. Let's see. If the point has been removed, set velocity to 0. If it has a previous point, do we want to set the velocity? What if we simply were to set the velocity to... What if we just kept the velocity? What if we simply multiply the velocity by 100 just to see if anything happens? By 1,000? What if we reloaded the script? Is this anything? That is not anything. Well then I don't know. I don't think I've accomplished anything here. Velocity. Okay, what if we print out the velocity? What do you think? Oh, it's already gone. So it's 0. It should be okay. It's going. Oops. It does appear to be doing something. Velocity is there. It does have some vertical velocity. I don't think I accomplished anything here, me, this week. Honestly, me too. At work, I don't think I did anything today. I don't know what it is. Also, what is this? Common parent is true. Condition not common parent is true. Continuing. Does this matter? Is this an important thing? What is this? I'm not reading that. Condition common parent is true. Continuing. Turns out the connect method has to be applied to the instant. Oh, is it because okay. Is it because it's not actually in the water? The water check here should actually be... No, this is fine, right? Is this it? What if I disconnect this? And then I reconnect this. It should be on water check area entered. And then on area exited, it should be the same one. Maybe that's not it. Oh, wait, that was it. Wait, that was it. That was the reason why it didn't work. Okay, so let's see. We are printing out some things. We're setting this thing, we're moving the point. So this is the same as usual. When it does interact with the water, it goes freaking crazy. Now I think we should only care about the vertical component, right? So velocity dot, we should set the velocity dot y only. Float force dot y, velocity dot y. So velocity dot x should be 0. Right. Oh. It has gone up. I mean, it's doing something though. Something's working. Okay, so velocity. What do we do here? Oh, this should be times delta. Didn't even consider delta, bro. He doesn't even know. I mean, that is something. I mean, it kind of... No, it's not really doing what I want. It kind of looks cool though, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of look cool? Why is it not being applied every frame though? Is it actually like moving these things? If is in water, move point. Point index velocity times delta. What if we retain our velocity from the previous frame? I feel like IRL, that's kind of how fishing line is in the water until it's reeled in. Like this. This. Wait, it kind of works. Like this? It looks like this. I mean, it is doing something. So these points are in the water. Oh, is it because I changed the position and then after I changed the position they stop moving? Which causes the velocity to be 0? Is that what the issue is? What if I did this? It should not be, we should not be setting the velocity. We should be like damping the velocity, right? So we have the previous point. We have the current point. I think we need to maintain the velocity from the previous frame. We should not be set. It should be like plus equal. Wait, no, hold on. So we take the previous point. We take the current point. And then what? Maybe we need to adjust the mass or the fluid dampening. What if we set fluid damp to 2? What does that do? I don't know if that does anything. All right, let's see. We got the old points, we have the new points. Process. The issue is that the velocity gets reset to 0. Then it never actually goes back. And then as we add the points, it doesn't work. How do I fix that? Velocity. What if I just simply, instead of doing all this damping calculation, what if I just make the rope go up? If is in water, make rope go up. You think, is that anything? I think maybe that's something. That's probably simpler. Okay, so what if we simply just comment this out? Old physics process. Don't you love doing that? Just renaming a function. Okay, so now we have physics process. If is in water and the current rope point exists, it could work. We don't need the rope to be like physically accurate. We could just have it go up. So if is in water, rope move point. Or rope. Wait, what was it called? Or not is in water. Okay, rope move point. It's just going to be moved by vector 2 of. So we want to move the y component. It's going to be moved by, I don't know, like 50. What does this look like? Have the line float on the water. Wait, oh shoot. Wait a second. I don't know if it's doing anything. Okay, what if it was by 500? Oh no, it should be negative 500 because it's going up. Why did that do nothing? Is this even being called? It's not even being called. What is this? Point position is declared but never used. Why is this not getting called? Let me just... Hold on. If rope get num points is less than or equal to point index, or not is in water, like that should be fine, right? What if we just do if is in water? Is this even being called? Is this anything? Wait. Did that... Is that working? No, no, it doesn't work. Man, okay. If is in water, this thing should be set. It does get called. Why is this not working? Is 50 not enough? Negative 500. Negative 5,000. Nope. Rope.get num points. Less than. Let me just print this. Hello. Okay, so this is being called. But then this one, hello 2. So this is being called. Is this being called? Hello 2. This is not being called. It appears that is in water is not getting set for some reason. But why? What the? Wait, what? Wasn't this working before? What the heck? Oh, is it because I didn't do fluid interactor.process? I probably need to have this every frame. Wait, is that why it's not being called? No. It's like we don't call it here. Actually, no. Let's just try this. Fluid interactor process. Nope, that's not it. So why is in water not getting called? Like, why was this thing getting called then? If we unset this one and we put this back, we should see some things printing is in water. Okay, so why does that work? Why does this work, but this one doesn't work? Are these not just the same thing? If is in water. If is in water. We're doing this extra stuff. But like... It's not any... Okay, so what if we just did this? Instead of moving it to this, we simply did this. We did all that extra calculation for no reason. Okay, and then if you do it over here, wait, it's not going. Why is that not? What if we made it 500? Oh my god, it's freaking crazy. Jump rope. Okay, what if this was instead of -500, -100? Welcome, Altscop. That's how I would have done it. Yeah, that's how I would have done it. Keep it. No, it's too much. So, like, why is that not working? 70, 100. Okay, so it goes like that. And then I don't know how to get this to work. Okay, so if we didn't have that and we had this one, it simply doesn't do anything. Don't they keep track of like velocity in here somewhere? Velocity, collision damping. No. I could have sworn that they tracked the position every frame. Or maybe, wait a second. Don't they have, there's like a, what's it called? There's like a rope handle. A rope handle can be used to control, animate, or fixate points on a rope. Target index. What is target index? Determines how much the target point is allowed to move. Target point. The point weight is set here instead of update state. There is a way to just attach things to the rope. Set rope position. You can space these out at even intervals, but I would like to set it to be at a specific point. Rope handle, call that swinging a church bell. What? Rope handle? What is he talking about? So on update, the point weight is set here. We get the number of points. Precise. What does precise do? Target index. Precise. I don't know where that gets set. Base rope tool 2D. Positions. Position A, position B. Move point. So like, why is this not doing anything? That's my question for you all. Why is this guy not doing anything? If is in water, move point such that it does some things. Do you see that? What was that? So like, I would expect these things to move up, but they're not. Are they moving slightly, perhaps? Is this even occurring? Let's see. If not, float force is 0 approximate. You have buoyancy and you have damping. And then if you are in the water, then you move the point. Then you simply move the point. Your velocity is set to 0. What if we don't have divided by delta? Is that anything? Is the delta my issue? No. It's not it. What is this? What even is this? Oh, do we want to invert the velocity? Is that what it is? Do I want to have minus velocity? Because if you are up, never mind. I don't think that's what you want. It does look pretty cool though. Okay, that's not what you want. Well, what if it was? What if it was feedback, damping? I have damping though. Velocity.y plus equals negative velocity, not y, times fluid damp. Now, why would they not simply do minus equal this thing? Is there a difference mathematically between this and this? They should be the same, right? Whatever, you know, I'm gonna assume they know what they're doing. This is totally broken though. What the heck? What if we, what the heck? What if you cast the line while you're already in the water? Whoa. That's kind of cool. Wait, what if I don't have this thing? What does that even look like? Wait, this thing actually considers water physics when you're casting? I guess we are using the bobber's position. It is a physically accurate simulation. Whoa. Nice. But anyway, this thing doesn't work though. What if it did? What if it did work, huh? What if this thing did work? Yeah. I don't know. Probably won't be able to figure this out today in the next 10 minutes. So I will probably do this off stream. There's got to be something, right? What if I print out velocity? What if we don't have this delta here? Is that anything? Move point. Didn't I try this already? It goes crazy. Yep, okay. That's why we needed the delta. Welcome, Brooke. All right, let's see. Fluid interactor process. Global transform mass. What if I print out the velocity? It is quite a large number sometimes, but it's not actually moving. Some of these are 0. Why are these not being moved? If is in water, move point, based on velocity. What if it was minus velocity? Did I try this already? Wait. Okay, I did try that. I just don't know. We simply just do not know. Alright, what if we don't set the velocity? We simply maintain the previous velocity. Nope. Because we don't actually set the velocity anymore. Oh, what if we set the velocity the first time we enter the water? So we comment this stuff out. There's definitely a better way to do this. But then you go here, on water area entered, then you set this thing, old points. You gotta get old points. And oh, I don't have delta. There is a way to get delta. Godot get global delta. Physics process, what's it called? Get physics process delta time. I don't think this is going to work. But what if it... Whoa, whoa, holy frick. So we never unset the value. On water area entered, you should, on area exit, you should set velocity to 0. I don't think it works. I mean, it is keeping the rope above the water, though. If there is one thing that it's doing, that is in fact one of them. Now, could it be done better? Yes. But that's fine. Alright, if we simply did this, we have welcome Cuban Steven. What do I think about reverse engineering? I think it's cool. I think it's quite neat. -50 and 0. So it floats upward. If we hard code a value, it does float upward. Wait, but this one's not floating upward. Oh, I have X. Why is this X? This should be 0. The -50 should be there. And then you do this. But it's not going. 75, it is going. 100, it's going up. Do we need the thing where it's like check how deep you are in the water and then and then adjust based on how far you are? It's gonna be kind of annoying though. You would need to have a raycast above the node pointing down, and then we need to detect the difference between, like if the node was here and we had a raycast that was fixed point above it, check where it collides and then take the difference, and that is how far underneath the water you are. I don't think a raycast has a way to check whether you're currently in an area to check how far you go until you're out of an area. unless it's possible. Godot, what's it called? Raycast 2D. Hit from inside. It will report 0, so that would not really be what I want. Godot Raycast. Check how deep inside an area 2D. Is there a way to do raycasting from the other side? Activate a method. Ah, man. There's gotta be a way. There has to be. Unless I like physically attach the node every single time. If we have several of these rope handles aligned at different points on the rope, and then each one of these has a thing. Maybe that's what I'll do off stream. I will consider having these things, instead of just existing outside of the rope, they will actually be rope handles on the rope itself. And then, yeah. Well, anyway, that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna wait for these files to sync to my main computer, and then we're gonna check out what day it is and raid someone. Let's see. Here, you gotta load, what is it called? Watch. Watch ls test. Okay, so it is there, it has existed. Everything is synchronized. Alright, good stream. I've accomplished some things. This is a very bright image. It's very red. The Lake Tahoe. Isn't it kind of messed up that they don't tell you that, like, where this is? Snow tubers. What the? As elevated air becomes powdery paradise for skiers, snowboarders, and even snow tubers. Yo, what the? It's like a VTuber from the snow. See, here's the messed up part. They just say Lake Tahoe. They assume you know this is in, like, America. Every other place it's like, oh, Gold Beach, comma, the United States. Kill deer. What? Gates of the Arctic. Alaska. Right? They tell you. But then with Lake Tahoe, they're like, oh, you should already know where this is. We're not even going to tell you. Anyway, we're going to end the stream. Oh, there's an update. Update and shut down. Restarting. Do you see that? I clicked on shut down. And it says restarting. I guess we can wait for this to finish. Do I want to wait for this? Let's just go to the outro scene. It's going to shut down eventually. Alright, free Slurpee Day. Oh yeah, it is 7-Eleven Day. Ooh, it's also National French Fry Day. It's also, Kebab Day. Blueberry Muffin Day. Motorcycle Day. Let's do National French Fry Day. I think that's a good one. National French Fry Day raid. You could post the eating emote. There's probably a French fries emote. Yep, there is in fact French fries emoji. You could post, you could simply post this. Alright, let's see who's streaming. Twitch.tv. Who's out here? A bunch of people are playing various things. I will send you somewhere, but let me see if I can find someone doing software and game development. Is there anyone streaming software that I want to raid? Let's see, looking at my list of people. Checking my list. Many people streaming. The Wolfizz is streaming. Could raid that guy. Let us raid another streamer who has raided us and has also done software and game dev. Now, this is not a VTuber. They're not actually doing game dev right now, but they are playing a game that was developed by someone else. Which I guess is true of all games. All games were developed by someone. But that'll be it for today. Tomorrow I'll be back with Variety Saturday. And that'll be it for this week. But next week though, there is a game jam. It is the Kenny Game Jam, where you have to make a game based on a theme using only assets from Kenny or some other source. And I will consider possibly trying to make a game for that. Assuming the theme is something that I can come up with an idea for. That'll be on Friday, and also possibly Saturday. So, look forward to that maybe. Or not, I might skip out on it if I can't think of an idea. That'll be a possible thing that I do next week. First game jam? Whoa. It's crazy. Should be cool. Should be a nice thing to do. But that's it. I'm now going to sit here and wait for several seconds. For many seconds, then that raid is about to go. I'm gonna stop talking now. Have a rest of your day. Goodbye.